Welcome to the Coastal Kitchen. I'm Karen Mashers, and today we're going to go summertime Italian. We're having clams Posillipo. I'm going to make a simple salad with Parmesan peppercorn dressing. We're going to have garlic butter toast, and for dessert we're having cannolis with orange zest and pistachios. So let's get started. We're going to start with our dessert because we're going to put them in the fridge for a little while, and this is very simple and quick. And the reason it is because we're not going to make the cannoli shells here on the Coastal Kitchen. What we're going to do is we're going to use store-bought ones from my bakery, and if you want to make them, all you have to do is go to Facebook, search for the Coastal Kitchen, and you can get a recipe that I'll put on there for the shells. Now, I've got some ricotta cheese, 32 ounces, and I've got it in my bowl. Let's put this over here now. And I've got powdered sugar, a good cup, okay? And I'm just going to mix this up, make everything nice and sweet. Now, we're making this an orange cannoli. So I'm going to make a little bit of flavor with orange zest. And I'm going to use about a teaspoon. Just make sure you don't get the pith. And I think I've got just about a teaspoon right there. All right, now a teaspoon of vanilla. Good pure vanilla extract. Just put that in, and we're going to get this all stirred up. Okay, I'm going to let that set for just a minute. I want to take a quick little taste. The flavor of that orange is phenomenal. Okay, let's just give this a nice stir to get everything off the sides. If you want a lighter filling for your cannoli, you can also use about a cup of whipping cream and incorporate that in, and it will just give it a lighter texture. All right. Now, I've got my piping bag and a round open tip. If you don't have a piping bag, you can use a Ziploc bag. That will do the trick. Just fill it like I'm doing this, and you'll cut the end off of the bag and do exactly the same thing. All right, I've got my cannoli shells, and these are 6 large ones. And we're going to start filling. What I want you to do is take the cannoli shell and start in the middle. Just fill it until it puffs out the end. And we're going to do this the other way till it puffs out the end. Okay, let's keep going and get all these shells filled. And one more. Okay, all of the cannoli shells are filled with our mixture. Now, I've got some pistachio nuts, and I am going to put them in my grinder. We're going to grind them down. Nice chop. All right, that looks good. Let's get these back in my little bowl. And I'm going to take each cannoli and very gently dip the ends. Now, you could do a cannoli bar if you had a lot of guests coming and use different toppings. And I'd suggest maybe chocolate chips, coconut. You can do any kind of sprinkle. All right, last one. And I'm going to show you how I'm going to make this really look pretty. Let's grab a plate. And I've got some chocolate that you put on ice cream. And this makes a little bit of a hard shell. And what I'm going to do is I'm just going to take a little bit, put a few drips on the plate, my cannoli right on top. I'm going to drizzle just a little bit more on top. And then comes powdered sugar. Just enough to make it look really special. Take a little bit of your pistachio, put on top. What a wonderful dessert. Now these are going to go into the fridge for about an hour, so they're wonderful and cold when we get them out for our supper this evening. All right, we're going to have a quick word from our sponsor. We'll be right back with our Clams Posillipo.
Most people couldn't fit 200 local farms on their table. Well, that's where we come in. For the very best of everything local, Lowe's Foods.
Welcome back. I am starting on our Clams Posillipo. Now, Clams Posillipo is a wonderful dish that uses clams in a marinara sauce. And this originally became part of our cuisine from the Posillipo Cape, which is near Naples in Italy. And there are different variations, but I like the marinara that has that intense flavor of garlic, which I'm chopping now, 4 cloves, and I'm going to put my oil on real fast. We're going to use 6 tablespoons of oil, and I'm going to put this on high. Just use EVOO, get it all in there, and get all the distribution among the pan. Okay, this is going to start going. Now, Clams Posillipo, I've used 12 clams per person, and tonight I'm going to feed 3 people, so I've got 36 clams. I always make an abundance of sauce because I serve mine as a meal and use linguine, and we're going to be making linguine, and so a lot of this sauce will be over the pasta. The clams. I got some beautiful clams from up the coast a little ways, and I have scrubbed them with a lovely brush. I have put them in water and soaked them with 2 tablespoons of yellow cornmeal. What does that do? It makes the clam try to ingest the cornmeal, and it spits it back out. And when it spits it back out, it spits the sand that's in the shell with it. So that has been done. And you can do this beforehand and keep these in the fridge until you're ready to use them. All right, time for our garlic to go in. Nice little sizzle. Let's get it all, because I love the infusion. Now, while that's going, just turn this down just a touch. I want that to just get soft. Now, I've got 3 different types of tomato. I've got the plum tomato, I've got crushed tomato, and I've got diced tomatoes. Of course, you can use plum tomatoes and have them in your recipe. Just peel them, and they will cook just like any of the others. So let's get a quick stir on this. I'm going to turn it down just a little bit more. And my plum tomatoes, what I want to do is just hand crush these. So if you use your own, just get the skins off of them and just give them a nice squeeze. All the juice stays in. All right, last one. Give it a good squeeze. All right, I'm going to rinse my hands off just a sec. And pour the juice right back in the big bowl here. Now, let's take another quick look at how my garlic is doing. It's doing the nice sizzle, getting soft. I don't want it to brown and burn, though. That's a real important fact in cooking garlic. All right. We're just about there. Let me grab my tomatoes. The first thing I'm going to put in is my crushed tomatoes. And I just am going to pour the whole thing in. Let's get this little spatula and get it all. Just a nice stir. This is so easy, and the sauce that you make, you can freeze it. So don't worry about how much you make. All right, now the diced tomatoes go in. And I'm going to put the plum tomatoes in also. All right, we're just going to let those cook for about a minute and a half. I'm going to turn the heat up just a little bit. Want to bring them up to a rolling boil to get everything going. Okay, we've started to bubble here. Now it's time for me to add my Italian seasoning. And this is 2 tablespoons. Want enough to really let everything permeate. All right, now it's time for red pepper flakes. I like a little heat, and this is where you can make it the way that you like it. If you like a little bit more, put a little bit more in. All right, and 1/4 cup of dry red wine. And use good wine. If you don't drink it, don't cook with it. All right, we're going to stir this around. Let it simmer for about 5 minutes. Then I'm going to add some salt and pepper. While that's working, let's go to our clams. Now, I bake my clams. I'm going to put these in a 375 oven for about 15 minutes. And I just want to put them all out on my pan, and I use a lipped pan because I don't want the juice to come over the sides. So make sure you've got yourself covered on that one. All right, everything's out. And remember, if a clamshell doesn't open after it's been cooked, throw it away. It really isn't good to eat. Okay, got them all out, and as I said, I'm using some small clams. You can use big clams, and one of the best parts about this dish is that you can use this as an appetizer with the larger clams, and you don't have to cook quite so many per person. All right, I've got some fresh basil here. Let me just cut some up because when we finish our dish, I'm going to throw this on top as my garnish. So just give it a nice little rough chiffonade, something that'll look pretty on the plate. And this is a wonderful season because this grows well at home. And wanted to show you I grew some Greek basil. It's not quite as strong as you'd think it is. It's got a little subtler flavor, so this is good to sprinkle on top too. All right, we've got everything ready. Let me grab my salt and pepper. Give it a nice little bit of salt. And we're going to stir it around again, and I'm going to let this simmer for about 5 more minutes. It'll take about the same amount of time that the clams take to become as wonderfully aromatic as it should be. If you are like me, I like to make this a day ahead of time. Put it in the fridge because the second time you reheat it, it just seems to taste that much better. All right, let's throw in our pasta. We're going to cook this al dente. I've got my water boiling. Let's turn it back on and grab a towel. I'm using linguine because it's the pasta that I like with my Posillipo. So if you'd like to have angel hair, or if you'd like another pasta that actually hangs onto the sauce a little bit more, use something that you really like, but linguine is the one for me. Okay, we're going to take a real quick break while the clams get ready, and we'll be back in just a few minutes after a word from our sponsor.
The Coastal Kitchen would like to say thank you to our sponsors at Holden Brothers Farm Market in Charlotte for supplying the fresh produce on this week's show. Swing by their indoor market located near mile marker 10 on Highway 17, or check them out online at holdenbrothersfarmmarket.com.
Okay, time for the pasta to come off. It takes between 8 and 9 minutes to become al dente, and I'm going to get steam all over my glasses. But just remember, keep away from it. I'm going to reserve just a little bit of pasta water. So I'm going to put this down here. Okay. Now let's get that right there. Pasta in. Okay, we are ready to roll. Let's take a look at our sauce. Oh, it's doing beautifully. Let's put this in the sink. Just a second. Nice stir around. It looks and smells phenomenal. Now, let's just let that sit for a minute before I finish. I want to just have a little taste to see if I need to put any more salt or pepper. That's wonderful. I think that's good just the way it is. All right. Now, let's take a look at our clams. It's time. Oh, they have all popped open. Got a little bit of that clam juice in there. Don't they look great? Let's sit them down right there. Okay. Let me grab a plate, and I'm going to show you how I do this. Going to take some pasta. Let's get a little healthy piece here. All right. Pasta. And now I'm going to get some clams. And I'm going to put my clams on with the shell up. If you want, you can put these clams in your sauce, but if you make as much as I do, you want to keep a little bit. Sometimes I don't want the clam taste in there, so I like to do it this way. All right, let me grab a ladle. And I'm going to take my clams and I'm going to pour a little in each clam because I want that to be completely covered. And I'm going to take some more and just pour right over all my pasta. See how beautiful that looks. And we did our basil, so I've got some fresh basil and I'm just going to put it all on the top. And this is ready to eat. If you want, you can put some Parmesan cheese on, or you can eat it just as it is. Now, we're going to leave this right here, and I'm going to come over to do my salad dressing. Now, the salad dressing is really easy. It's a Parmesan peppercorn, and you make it right in a blender or a food processor. And I've got some cottage cheese. That's the first thing that goes in. And I am going to put my sour cream right in with it. And mayonnaise goes right on top. Now I've used a half of a cup of each of those ingredients. All right, so that's going in. I'm going to put the top on. And we're going to let everything liquefy to a really smooth stage. All right. Let's turn that off, and I am going to put my buttermilk in. So let's add a cup of buttermilk, nice and cold. Okay, this looks really like it's done. I think we've got enough time on this. So let's take this off. And I'm going to put this over here in the sink. It's time for garlic. And I've got 2 cloves of garlic, and I'm just going to give it a little break up here. Nothing special because the machine will do its job. And cut it up. So 2 cloves of garlic. I'm going to put some lemon zest in. About a teaspoon. A little bit more if you really like the flavor. I like the freshness that it adds to any dressing. Okay, that looks good. I've got some white wine vinegar, and make sure that it is white wine. Okay? 3 tablespoons, and we're ready to go. Now, it's time for our Parmesan cheese. And I use the Parmesan Reggiano, and I'm just going to grate it. I want a fine grate. So you can use the kind that you buy in the store if you want to, but we're just going to make our own grated cheese. All right, looks like this is just about a cup and a half. So let's put that over here, and right in it goes. Very simple, easy, quick dressing. And we're going to put the top back on. Let it mix it all up again. All right, that looks like it is nice and smooth. All right, I'm just going to put that right there. My trusty old jar. You can use any jar that you like, but this size is good for me, and I am pouring it all in. And now it's time for my salt and pepper. So salt goes right in, and I just wanted to show you, you can use the mixed peppercorns. They're really great, and I've ground up some. So let's see what I've got in here. We're going to use 3 teaspoons. And if you want to add some more to make it have that wonderful pepper flavor, just test it here and there. All right, jar on, lid tight, and give it a good shake. All right, this goes in the fridge for about 2 hours before you're ready to serve it. So we're going to put this in the fridge, and we're going to take a short break, hear a word from our sponsors, and we'll be back to finish with our garlic butter toast.
Most people couldn't fit 200 local farms on their table. Well, that's where we come in. For the very best of everything local, Lowe's Foods.
Welcome back. It's time for the finale to our dinner, which is our garlic butter toast. All right, the first thing that we're going to do is come over here to the stove, turn it on real quick, and I'm going to put some olive oil and garlic. I want to get this nice and aromatic. So this is the first step to the garlic bread. I'm going to go ahead and start cutting. I want to cut slices about an inch thick. I want a nice piece of bread, something that you can really get your hands on. So let's get this going while our garlic's cooking. All right, one more slice should be plenty. All right, let's just stick that right over here. Don't need that knife anymore. I'm gonna cut about a stick of butter, about 8 ounces. Just get right in my bowl while I'm waiting for my olive oil. Let's just give it a stir. Garlic smells so good. Okay, this is done. Gonna take it off this fire. It's a nice golden brown. I'm gonna grab me a little plate because I want it to cool quickly. So I'm gonna put this in my plate. Let it cool. And start with my butter. I'm going to add oregano, salt, because this is unsalted butter, just some nice kosher salt, and a little bit of pepper. And I'm going to move this around a little bit with my mixer. All right, we want this nicely mixed up. Everything's looking beautiful. And now what I'm going to do is I'm going to take my garlic and put my garlic in with my butter. Okay, I'm going to keep that knife out. See how easy that was? Absolutely great. Let me grab my pan. Here it is. And what I'm going to do is I'm just going to take a slice and slather it with my garlic butter. And I'm going to take what I don't need right here and put it on the second one. Right on my sheet. And let's get this all done real quick. Okay, all done. Let's get that on my baking pan. This is going to go under the broiler for as many minutes as it takes to become golden brown. So watch it carefully. Okay, I'm going to keep this oven just a tiny bit open so I can keep a good eye on it. Okay, I've been peeking and this looks pretty good. Now, my husband loves what he calls oven toast, and he likes his a little bit more done than I like mine. So I've got a couple pieces that he'll love here. Okay, let's get this ready to go. All right, I've gotten everything ready so we can be starting to eat in no time at all. What a great day at the Coastal Kitchen. I want to tell you that we have Clams Posillipo, and if you want, put a little Parmesan on the top. Looks good too. Okay, our tossed green salad with Parmesan peppercorn dressing, and of course we have our lovely garlic butter toast, and we'll finish it off with our orange chocolate cannolis with pistachio on the sides. Now, a glass of red wine to finish it off. Just remember, you can find us on Facebook. Just search for the Coastal Kitchen. Have a great day and see you next time right here at the Coastal Kitchen.